So, as per usual, a woman came on this app and posted a video saying how she is, I believe, 30 something weeks pregnant. Her husband did nothing for her for Mother's Day, and she woke up to dishes overflowing in the sink. A woman stitched that video, and she's basically like, what exactly do you want us to do? Okay, y'all post these videos all the time. Then the moment we come to your side and we're like, hey, this is wrong, he is being disrespectful, things need to change in some way, then you turn on us and say that we're the hater because we're not married to somebody who doesn't like us. In that comment section, somebody says, hey, what happened to women supporting women? And a response to that comment was, women supporting women means accountability and honesty, not blindly supporting and promoting foolishness and allowing and accepting disrespect. This is the element of women supporting women that I think that a lot of us miss. You want us to be your friend and you want us to be there for you when you go off and you date that guy who treats you not even better than a piece of garbage on the street. You want us to be there for you, and when you come back after you've ignored us for, however long, so you can be in a relationship with and have our arms open and rub your back and listen to all the horrible things that he did to you. But you didn't want to hear us when we were like, hey, this guy you just met, I'm not really liking him. You're telling me some things that he's doing for you, I'm doing to you, and it don't seem cool. He's super disrespectful. And then you get mad at us and you cut us off and you want us to shut up and then you want us to mind our business. And then when that guy inevitably just treats you worse and worse, and either he leaves you or you've reached your breaking point, you want us to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Don't get me wrong, as your friend, I'm definitely still going to be there for you. I'm going to rub your back. I'm going to make you some tea. We're going to go out to eat and we're going to talk some shit about that man for sure. But, with that being said, I'm not going to be the friend who, while you're in that relationship, you tell me the shit that he does to you, and I'm just like, you know how men are. Well, maybe you should just be nicer to him. What? That's crazy. And then we're on the phone for hours at a time, almost every day, rehashing the same things that he does to you. Like you just realized yesterday when he's been doing it for months and nothing has changed and things have gotten worse. I'm also not going to be that friend. I do believe in, yes, you present me with the problem the first few times, you vent, I'm going to let you vent. You might ask me for advice. I'm going to give you advice. But if there seems to be a pattern over a long period of time, and it immediately gets to that point where I see your name pop up on my caller ID and my stomach like tightens, okay, now some boundaries have to be set. And a lot of you think that means that someone like me would be a bad friend. No. Back when I was with my abusive ex-husband or any one of the stupid relationships that I was in over the years, the women that caused me to finally wake up weren't the ones who enabled me and sat on the phone with me and let me just repeat the same stories over and over again. Those weren't it was the women who were like, you know what? We've been talking about this for the last 3 months. Okay? Nothing is getting any better. I don't know how to help you. You ask me for my advice. You don't take it, and you don't have to. Hey, that's totally fine. But listen, I don't have the time to be on the phone with you every day about this. And quite honestly, it's hard for me because I'm constantly having to hear stories of somebody out there treating my friend like shit, and there's nothing that I can do about it. I can't keep doing this. When you want to talk about getting away from this man permanently, you let me know. But we're not going to go around in circles. We're not doing this because it feels like I'm co-signing and I'm okay with the foolishness, and I'm not. Do I think that people take all the psychological words and run with it? Do I think that people are using protecting my peace as an excuse to flat out just be mean to people, just to be a jerk. I 100% do believe that. However, there are times when setting a boundary is necessary, not just to keep you from losing your mind, but to hopefully make that other person wake up and realize, hey, I am not your emotional dumping ground. You didn't even ask me how I was doing today. I could have had a stressful day at work. I could have my kids. You don't know what's going on with me because we're always talking about you. And I'm not talking about life events where you're going through a divorce. Of course, that's the season of the friendship where it's got to be about you, or there's a death in the family or an illness in the family. I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about when we willingly put ourselves and allow ourselves to be in bad situations. The only women who allowed me to just sit and call them and vent and vent and vent and vent and vent with no plan to make a solution, those are the women who were also going through mess and misery loved company, or they just like the fact that they could look at my life and be like, at least I'm not like her. I used to be the friend who just would sit and vent all the time and ask for advice that I never used. I would vent, feel better about myself. You know what? I am going to tell him off, and I wouldn't do shit. And I would be in the same situation the next day. And as someone who was on that side of it, I know what it's like. You just want somebody to hear you out because your partner's not hearing you out. You want that moment of temporary relief that you actually did something when in actuality you haven't, and you probably won't. You're probably feeling alone and you're probably feeling isolated. I understand that. But the biggest mistake I made is just totally forgetting that my friends have lives and shit going on too. The biggest mistake I made was not caring about anything. I pick up the phone and just start talking about me. The biggest mistake I made was not realizing that it is emotional labor to give advice all the time, to use your brain, to dredge up a plan that's not going to be used. The biggest mistake I made was not realizing how painful it is to witness someone you love constantly get hurt and there's nothing you can do about it, and they don't want to do anything about it. And even if you did do something about it, if they're not ready to leave that person, they're going to go right back to it. And I get it. You love your friend. You want to be there for your friend. But sometimes loving people means setting boundaries. And sometimes not loving people is constantly allowing them and enabling the shit that's going on in their life for whatever motive you might have. Or because you lack boundaries and you don't know how to say no. Because as women, we're told that we have to fix everybody's shit. And if you don't want to do that, something is wrong with you and you're mean. The friend that allows you to vent repeatedly all the time and gives you advice all the time and listens to all the drama all the time, that's not necessarily always the good friend. And y'all get mad at the friends who are honest with you. I mean, in a loving way, not in a bully type way. Y'all don't want those friends. Y'all know who to call. I had a friend one time that was blunt with me. She was like, I know when you get off the phone, because I'm not willing to sit here and listen to this, you're just going to go down the list and call everybody to see who's going to let you vent. And she was right. I didn't see them as my friends. I saw them as who can be my free therapist. And when I ran out of people to vent to, and I no longer could get that temporary high like I just did something when all I did was vent, then I was able to sit and actually think about shit. Like, damn, I ain't got nobody to pour all my trauma onto. Dang, nobody's answering my calls anymore. And that forced me to finally look at my situation. Some women might never see it, but it's not until boundaries are set that you're even going to ever get to know